PKN, episode 193. So, Ice Poseidon is in a bit of drama?
Yeah, so me, Chiz, and a few other guys were up all night last night. Really didn't get any sleep. I guess I was up till like 6 a.m. my time to catch all the 3 a.m. Drama in LA because it just kept going.
Wow.
Mr. Mediker made a recap video of this whole thing you were saying, Taylor, and I think you watched some of that. I didn't catch Mediker's video because
that's my only exposure to it. Like, I know it went way deeper than that because apparently, like you said, this was going all fucking night. Like, this was only an hour and a half stream on Mediker's channel to catch up. But can you give us like a higher level breakdown?
Yeah, it started at around 9:30 p.m. their time, and it went until like 3:30 a.m. their time, and it actually stretched on after that if you count some of the side quests to this epic tale. Basically, and when I say basically, I mean it's still pretty complicated. They had some kind of gathering at Ice's house, and they had oh shit, there's a really pretty girl that Ice is into that he's sort of using to get views, I suppose you could say. Cassandra, I think her name is. Very, very attractive young lady.
Romantic with Ice or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Ice is trying to get with her, and but she's not having it. But
That's
she's
just as good a show. Maybe
she's
better.
she's sort of using him for like to kind of break into streaming. It would seem, and he's sort of using her to get more views and stuff. And it's an odd situation. One thing to keep in mind, because this is audio that we're doing, and you haven't seen it, Woody. Ice is missing an eyebrow throughout all of this.
I did not see that.
He's missing his left eyebrow, the one over here, and he looks ghoulish if he gives you the full face. Like if he goes half face on you, it's like, oh yeah, he looks respectable because he's got a full beard right now and his hair's kind of normal. Ghoulish if he looks you straight on. So he's this girl Cassandra is there, and they had this girl Corinne come over. When I say girl, I mean 40-year-old, almost tranny looking, retarded LA garbage who thinks she's someone special, who's always like, I know the mayor. You know how much money I give? Do you know what kind of philanthropist I am? Oh, it's free thing out here. She's the most
Kyle
annoying.
Is not exaggerating or being hyperbolic with that voice right now.
She is the most annoying cunt box on the planet. And like while we were watching it, I was like, I want to beat her face in with a baseball bat dipped in acid. So she comes over too. She invited by Ice, mind you.
Isis is like, cool your jets, Kyle.
No,
not anymore.
Isis maybe, but Ice is on board with me.
Oh, okay.
And so I believe Corinne, the disgusting human being, she was about 40, which is odd because she's much older than that group. That group seems to be 20 to 25 mostly. She's been invited over to like make peace with this Cassandra chick. Apparently they have some bullshit like girly drama going on.
Old hag and hot young lady have drama?
Probably like 15, 18 years between these two ladies.
I wonder why a hot young lady even notices. Like, I'm 45 and I'm fully aware that I am invisible to hot young ladies. They don't even see
apparently
me.
Apparently people think or the thought in the stream at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, because you were there live, is that like, oh, this is a big contrived drama, fake and gay, not real, this is unrealistic, like you're just trying to force drama. So for the beginning part, everybody's kind of, pish posh. Like,
and I believe that Ice is trying to contrive one of those CX court appearances that he often does, where he presides over some silly drama. And at some point, he throws out this. He produces handcuffs, and he's like, "I'm gonna handcuff you guys together. We're gonna get to the bottom of this." And like at first, everybody, the hag is like, don't handcuff me. Maybe if you handcuff me to you, but gently, and she sounds a little bit like a female Steve-O. And so at some point in the night, things are weird, right? It's Ice's apartment. There's various characters around. They all have nicknames. So it takes you a minute to get catched up on who scuffed Steve Jobs is and who Jim Carrey is and what all their positions are in Ice's life. His manager is there. There's a lot of people in tow. One guy has warrants on him and is wearing a hoodie. And so you get used to all the characters. There's a robot.
Reputable folks, yeah.
There's a robot with a knife trolling around with a camera on it who's also streaming, and it has like a steak knife on it, And so at some point, Ice sneaks up behind the hag, slaps handcuffs on her like he's John McClane, and starts trying to handcuff her to the pretty girl. But the dumb bitch like pulls as hard as she can away, like she's gonna like escape handcuffs.
She hurt
and like
herself?
a little,
Okay.
not in this kind of way that like any of us would be like, oh look, I got a little redness there around
I'm
the
sorry.
wrist.
I should listen, not interrupt. But you're doing
Yeah,
great.
she blows it way out of proportion, and she starts being real shitty. They
And
let her
real
out
quick,
of.
Kyle, like the proportion that it was, like I saw a teeny little bit on my phone on Medicare's screen when she was holding her wrist up, being like, "Look at my wrist! Like, look at this." It looked like, you know, when girls have like a scrunchie or a hair tie on their wrist and they take it off and there's like that indentation,
Yeah.
or when you wear a condom and there's that indentation around the bottom of your dick after you're done. It looked like that. It wasn't like bloody or anything that I could tell. Is that right?
Absurdly low-level injury, a 1 out of 5,000 type of injury, and
So
Can-
low.
There's a
she
thing I
starts
don't
being
know.
real.
He wasn't able to successfully put them together. He only got one side on.
He only got
Okay.
her on there, and then she starts being real cunty, and so
Okay.
he lets her out of that one, and so she starts like being super cunty. She's sitting there. She's like, Ice Poseidon is abusive to women. Hashtag Me Too generation. You need to SWAT him right now. His sponsors need to know. SWAT him. His address is 1314 East LA Boulevard. And Ice is like, that's not gonna fly. Come on, you're getting the fuck out of here.
That's so perfect.
So he like gets her ass up, and she's like, "Stop touching my boob!" And like he's like clearly nowhere near her flabby titties, and like escorts her out of the house. So now she begins streaming. So now we're following both streams. One is Ice back at his place talking about the mayhem that just occurred and how crazy this bitch was. The other crazy bitch's stream in a car with her quote-unquote driver, who is clearly annoyed with her. And that's a repeating theme throughout the night. Everyone who is having to associate with her is clearly annoyed that they're having to do so after 30 seconds. They immediately realize this is a buffoon, a trash human being, and you can see it in their face.
She's not pleasant. Like with anyone there, she's being combative, like not a kind seeming person.
So this is a little tidbit that I'm not sure everyone caught, and I only know it because I looked at Cassandra, the hot chick's Instagram. At some point, someone produces an iPad, and they say, "Is this Corinne's iPad?"
Corinne is old hag.
Old
Yes.
hag.
Thank you.
And they're like, "Yes, that is old hag's iPad." Ice goes, "Give me that." She's not getting it back. Somebody goes, "eBay, motherfucker." He goes, "Yeah, Mexican Andy would love this." And he sits it on his little shelf there. And Cassandra's like, pretty chick says, you better give that back. Give that back now. And he's like, "I'm not giving it back. She ain't getting this back." Back in the car.
Can I just tell you, the Ice impression makes this whole thing 4 times better. It's so. I'm not giving that back.
Back in the car. Meanwhile, old hag is like, "Where's my iPad? Where's my? This isn't my iPad. This is Ice's iPad." She has Ice's iPad. We need, and just prior to realizing this, she's going ham. She's like, "We need to call the police. We need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the emergency room. I need treatment." And then she realizes her iPad may be missing. And she's like, "If I could just get the iPad back, that would really solve everything. Like we could just forget about the police and the medical care. And could we do an iPad exchange? She's talking to her stream, which is blowing up because of what she just did at Ice's place. Maybe 1,500 at this point. And she's never had more than 3 people on her stream. So she's like, "Is there any competent people out there who could do an iPad exchange?" So I tuned out a little at this point, but basically what ends up happening is she goes back to Ice's house. It's nighttime now there. It's dead of night. And his iPad gets back to him. Her iPad's not showing up. Everybody's shrugging. "We don't know where your iPad is, bitch. It's gone. Keep your ass down there on the sidewalk." Meanwhile, there are like Ice Poseidon fans kind of in the area yelling at her occasionally, and she's pretending like it's Jason, and he's over there with a ski mask and a chainsaw or something. There's stalkers everywhere. She calls the cops. Takes an hour for them to get there, but they finally show up. The cops are not impressed with her at all. They are literally eye rolling on her stream, listening to her talk because she's so dim-witted. They're like, well, how many gigabytes is it? I don't know what a gigabyte is. What's a gigabyte? It's 10.5 inches. They're like, well, if you don't know, we can't tell you, ma'am. Like, what, you have to give us the info. They're trying to fill out this report, and she's just like interrupting them constantly. They keep telling her to turn her stream off. And she's like, no, because it's blowing up. Now it's like 2,500 people, and they're streaming upstairs too. ICE has got a stream where they're watching her stream, even though she's down on the sidewalk. She's talking to the cops. They're up there, I guess, getting their stories together to some extent. Now, of course, the 2,500 people in her chat are not her fans because those don't exist. Those are figments of her imagination. They're the Purple Army. They're down there giving her a million different places where her iPad is. It's not in any of these places.
Yeah.
It's under the carpet. It's in the jacuzzi. It's in the porta potty outside down the street. She doesn't know what a porta potty is, by the way, so that's very confusing to her. It's in the dryer. It's in the oven. It's in the microwave. ICE has it. Jim Carrey has it. I learned later that wasn't the real Jim Carrey, but I don't think she knew that because she was like, Jim Carrey wasn't even there. So she's telling all this to the cops. They're writing a report out. They're looking at her wrists like, big fucking deal. Because these are people who actually handcuff people on a regular basis. They've seen like actual handcuff bruises, and this is lame. They go up to ICE's apartment, and this is the clip we have here at 6:04. I believe what has occurred, I haven't previewed the clip, but I'm pretty sure what Chiz would have linked for us is the cops want evidence from ICE that he didn't forcefully handcuff this girl. They're like, she's saying that you basically kidnapped her in essence and handcuffed her against her will. And so could you show us some video of her getting handcuffed so we see what the deal was? And I was like, absolutely. You'll see from this video that I am in the right. And so the cops gather around ICE's PC. All of ICE's posse, and it's not a big posse. It's like 3 or 4 guys are there. And I will direct your attention to the gentleman. I wish I knew his name. The gentleman with the hoodie on in the background who has open warrants on him. And watch his face.
Okay.
Because he's as cool as a cucumber.
I'm ready when you guys are ready. Oh, about how long are we watching? Just
maybe 2 minutes.
Okay. Ready, set, play.
That's the exact time.
What is this?
This is the whole thing. This is right when it happens, apparently.
Okay.
It's a little robot. Put in the room
Listen, Cassandra, it's a two-way deal. Get on the couch. Cassandra, get on the couch. There you go. Get both of you on the couch.
She's obedient.
Context
I like
matters.
that.
That's fine. We just want to
looks
see.
odd,
We just
but-
want to see. By the way, she was streaming.
Context matters.
We just want to see.
I love his one eyebrow.
Look at him sneaking up with the handcuffs, like super sneaky mode with fucking cuffs, and he pounces. Now he's got her. And she's just pulling against him.
Where is she saying that she wants to be though? I need to see her say that she
I love that
wants
from
to
the
be,
cop.
though.
So context matters, and
She was making money.
Well, we need to see her saying that she wanted it though.
okay, so she never says yes, I want to be handcuffed, but she is live streaming herself making money, entertainment. She
Also,
is in my house.
That's fine, guys.
She
We're
can
going to talk to her.
She can walk out at any
Her
point.
lawyer also came earlier.
Okay, well that's.
Hang on, no. And he told us that this was all an act, and she's trying to break into the industry, and to be careful of her.
That's fine. Well, that's
So-
we can't go by what that lawyer said. So let's go.
something?
All right, we're gonna go and try to get her talk. We're gonna talk.
Look at that eyebrow.
Some real quick officers. When I got here,
It really hurts his
If you walk
credibility
into my
as a
house and
witness.
you're streaming, that's yes to anything,
what
and
he
then you
said?
can walk out at any point.
Yeah, just joking around.
I don't think that's
Like,
true.
She fucking
All right, that's good
Sprayed
enough,
me
I
with
think.
the fucking bullshit.
All right,
like
ready,
she's hit
set,
me. Like,
pause.
He said, if you walk into my house, that's yes to anything.
And he thinks it. I don't think this is a goof when he says that. I think he's
You know how
like,
many girls came over here and then I just raped the shit out of them? And I was like, hey, you walked in here. That's yes to anything. Yes to anything. So, cops go back down. She's even more annoying. I promise you, if one of us had jumped in this girl's body and done our best to like put our best foot forward and get ICE arrested, we would have done it. Because the cops are always willing to listen to reason, it seems to me, especially these cops. These seem like really good cops.
Mm-hmm.
She is so annoying. And she starts insulting them a few minutes in. She's like, what took you so long to get here? They're like, well, we had emergencies. You don't think this is an emergency? Do you know how much money? She's like, what are you? West Hollywood? And they're like, no, we're LAPD. What city am I in? You're in the city of Los Angeles, ma'am. So you're LAPD? You're not sheriffs? No. Oh, that's real funny. Do you know how much money I give you people? Wow. And you treat me like this. And she says, I am freezing at no less than 10 times while she stands there on the sidewalk complaining. And we're all out here in the cold, right? She's called them out there to do this fucking bullshit job. And it's LA in May, right? It can't be that cold. I don't have a weather report, but 60 degrees or something?
Sure.
So it finally comes. They go back and forth between the two parties a couple times. They completely search ICE's apartment for the iPad, looking in all the weird places that she's directed them to look. He's like, I looked in the oven. Mm-hmm. I looked in the dryer. I looked under the dryer. Your iPad isn't there. And I was thinking, like, you could probably hide an iPad pretty easily, right? It's we all know what an iPad looks like. You could slip that thing just about anywhere, all kinds of weird places. It's probably in there. And so ICE's crew realized they've got a little leverage. She apparently molested one of these gentlemen a little bit, grabbed his cock twice while she was up there earlier in the night, and they got that on video. And they show the cops the video, and they say, hey, if she's going to press charges on ICE, then my boy, I wish I knew his name. My boy
Something
here.
Steve.
Korean Andy.
One of the Andy flavors. Yeah.
Then Kim Jong Don't Touch My Un here is going to press charges against her. All right? You let her know that. We're both going down. And so they come downstairs, and the cops literally relay that message. They're like, something you need to understand, ma'am. Could you turn off the stream? Could you just turn it off? No, they're just telling you. The cops understood streaming better than her. They're just telling you random things to mess with you right now. That's what happening. They didn't know the term trolling, but they're just telling you anything, right? What was the name? I wish Chiz was on the call. They were saying Nick Hergs, like a name that they were saying Nick Hergs took it, but if you say Nick Hergs took it too fast, it sounds like something bad. And so they keep going and going, and they said, look, here's the reality here, ma'am. If you want to press charges, he's like, what does that mean, charges? I don't understand. If you want to push this onward and you want to like get him in trouble, then they have witnesses and video of you grabbing one of those guys up there without his consent. You're both going to go to jail. You're both going to end up in court, and we're going to be out of it. And she seems very confused about that because #MeToo doesn't apply to women. Okay, we can grab all the cocks we want. So finally, she just leaves. She just walks away. She continues streaming, goes to her hotel, doxes herself like half a dozen times. We knew that she's at the Hotel Mandarin in room 206. I remember this. Her phone number. She read her phone.
Be there.
She probably is. She read her phone number out multiple times. Her phone would not work because it's continuously being called. And she answers the calls. Who is this? It's Jimmy from Alaska, and I'm gonna fuck you, you whore. Oh no. Just crazy shit the whole night. And so ICE has of course told the police, we don't know where that iPad is. We haven't seen that iPad. And then the video comes out today that I mentioned where he's like
Mr. Mediker's video?
No, Mr. Mediker, I don't think has the particular video I'm talking about in his. The video I saw on her Instagram, I think it was where ICE is like, oh, that's her iPad. she ain't getting that back. Somebody's like, eBay. He's like, nah, Mexican Andy would love this. And they've got it. It was such a bizarre night. We're pretty sure ICE is going to get in much more further legal trouble because he lied straight to the cop's face, and there's clear evidence of that. And he definitely has her iPad.
But does she still have his iPad?
No, he got that back.
Yeah,
Oh, he
that
got
was
that
part
back.
of the story.
Okay.
Yeah, he got his back, and they didn't do a trade. He just managed to get his back.
Why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he just give it back? I know he hates her.
Finders keepers. That is the ICE Poseidon way.
It's not even finders keepers. She
so
just left it at his house.
Mr. Medicare covered this in near real time. He already has it.
Yes.
I don't know how he keeps up with all this shit.
So basically, Medicare was watching pretty much along with us, not in our little call or anything, but he was watching along with us in real time. And as soon as it was kind of over, as soon as she went to her hotel, continued streaming, and ICE cut his stream off, he starts streaming. Mr. Medicare starts, and he does like an hour and 40-minute live stream recapping everything and dragging videos in and stuff like that. And then he uploaded that today as a VOD. It was really entertaining. It may not sound all that entertaining, I'm not sure, but to watch it live, you didn't know. We were like, they're going to slap him in cuffs right now. We're going to watch him get arrested live on stream because the evidence that he just showed to the cops looks really bad for him.
I feel like ICE has all the entertainment talent that Howard Stern does, maybe more, but none of the business talent. ICE will be broke in 10 years. In 10 years, he'll find himself with no money and no job skills. But between now and then, there's going to be a lot of great content.
Be a lot of good streams. Yeah. Well, maybe as long as this doesn't boil over.
Just fucking hilarious. The whole thing. That chick though grated me so badly. I think she's my least favorite person from the internet now. And I know most of the evil people on the internet. She is a monster of a person.
Okay. So I don't know her, but I'm going to accept everything you said as completely true. The question is, if you heard she was going back to ICE's house, would you watch again?
Absolutely.
She's compelling. Terrible, but crazy's a show.
I want a big man to deck her.
You could be that big man.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to punch that woman in the eye.
In a self-defense, if she put you in a self-defense situation,
no,
you wouldn't hesitate to do
if she was asleep. If she was asleep in her bed and I snuck in and I crept right up next to her like Rose Yamagunas and fucking wailed on her. That's my birthday present that I want from one of you. If you could arrange that for me. Get me in that room.
So look, I haven't seen her like you have. I've just seen this clip and heard your description. But the torture I want for her is a little different. I want her to have to solve a problem, right? Can we put her in, I don't know, a remote area, the woods, and then see a live stream of her trying to solve the problem?
That would not go well.
It would be a show to me. Like, I want to see her in high heels, 12 miles into the woods, try to solve this issue.
They kept having to tell her to close her legs because she was flashing her pussy to the camera. Like, she was so trashy. She thought she was the disparity between what she thinks she is and what she is.
Yes.
The gap is so immense. She thinks she is a socialite philanthropist. Meanwhile, she is a white trash dirtbag. Like it's clear. Let's watch from this clip. This is like the
second. Well, there's two clips here.
The second one. I don't know what that Sam Pepper thing is.
Okay.
This is another timestamp. At this point, I believe the cops are about to come into ICE's bedroom for the second or third time to see more evidence. While they've been downstairs talking to Crazy Bitch, the boys upstairs have been looking for timestamps for evidence in their favor. And this is the part where we see the gentleman with the hoodie on who has the open warrants. And again, he's the best part of this little clip to me because of his reactions in the background and stuff, keeping in mind that he has these open warrants right next to the cop and that Corinne has told the cops that he has open warrants. And the cops are just like, we're not here for that. That's not what we're here for.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready, set, play.
To me. Handcuff yourself to me. Yeah.
Pause it for the
Can you go back to the clip where she says?
Okay. So she, yeah. Okay.
It's like a minute long.
Yes.
Everybody in Ice's house is sexually harassing me. Look at this
Not-
shit he did to my arm.
Not real, by the way.
Show it again, why don't you? It's already been 5 times.
Okay, girls. If
There was
you're
a dent
in love with
there.
Him, I'm really worried because he's abusive to women. I don't think.
What have I done that's abusive?
You put
That's a
handcuff
flap.
on me.
Okay, what else?
Oh, she has a
What else have I
bracelet.
done? I'll do it. I'll do it again. Where's the handcuffs?
You offered me $1,000.
Where's the handcuffs?
Look at Hoodie Man.
Yeah, I offered you $2,000 to fuck
He's got the real fear in him.
Still didn't do it.
Oh no.
You better watch out, lady. Here I come.
Handcuffs away from me.
Here I come. Here I come, lady. Here I come, lady. Here I come, lady. You better watch out. If you were scared for your life, you would run out of this house. But since you're manipulating everybody, but it's not working, because nobody's stupid.
I'm here to stand outside and
Content.
Yeah, you're
We don't
not
care.
Hold on, you're right here.
Only if you handcuff yourself to me.
Only for what?
Handcuff yourself to me.
Okay, but can you do it really gentle now?
Yeah.
Like, no, okay. Can you do it to yourself first?
No. This is my house.
Do it to yourself
No.
first, and then I'll do it to me.
This is my house.
You do it
Do
to
you
me.
actually do it at this point right here?
No, I didn't put the handcuffs.
Tell your camera guy. He's trying to get head from me.
I get that.
It's okay to put it on her as long as it's gentle.
That guy with the shaved head is the one who was molested.
So she didn't get handcuffed after that.
She was handcuffed prior to this.
Correct.
What's the difference?
I didn't ask for that. I'm just
All right, I guess that's about all there is. It was a bizarre fucking night. It was absolutely fucking weird. It just the characters that he produces are very interesting to me. I don't know. She was just garbage though. I hated her so much, and like I was mad. I kept turning it off. I would turn it off for like 3 or 4 minutes and just fume, and then I'd be like, they'd be like, "Oh, look what she's doing now." I'm like, "Fuck, all right." I'd get back on and have to watch some more because like for the longest period of time, it was just her streaming by herself because Ice had turned his stream off to like confer with his homies about how to best defend these spurious charges against him. And
He's guilty as fuck though.
it's possible that he just said that shit and that someone else like came in there and stole it from him and then he forgot all about it.
That I mean could be.
That would be my take.
I want to skip ahead and see how this show ends, right? Because is
I
she
bet
gonna
Ice
go to
doesn't.
She's so inept that I don't think if she were a more capable non-retarded person who wasn't a complete piece of shit, I think that she would not only be able to figure out what to do next, but people would actually take it seriously. But none of those things are true.
Right. I could show up with an edited together thing, put it on my phone, say, "Look, this guy stole my iPad. I've got him on video here talking about him stealing my iPad. This is where he lives. Can we go get something done?" And I think they would, like that day or so. Like, they just investigated on the spot.
Potentially, yeah, for sure. You'd have a real good shot at it. But she's just none of those things. Like Ice's quote today was, quote, "The mark is gone. She can't do anything at this point. She can't sue me." So she's.
This is America. You can always sue somebody.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna come of it. I think there's a chance that nothing happens at all
She
because
did some bad shit too during it. Like, isn't that illegal to just be saying, just SWAT this guy's house? Early in the stream, she was like, SWAT this guy's house. Send the police there. They have knives inside. They're SWAT this guy's house. And then later, is like during the stream, part of it I heard, she was trying to play it back. Like, I don't even know what SWAT means. And some guy she was with goes, "It means sending a SWAT team to someone's house." And she goes, "Oh, well then, yeah, SWAT him." And it's like, oh my God, you can't even play stupid right. Like,
she's
that's
awful.
illegal, right? You can't just like be calling in and telling the police to go fuck with people.
Yeah, you can't do that. she was at the hotel, and they were like, "Man, we're getting a lot of calls. What are you doing over here streaming in the corner?" She's like, "I'm a celebrity. I'm a celebrity." And they're like, no, like what are you doing? She's like, "Aren't you used to this, dealing with celebrities?" She's just slurring the whole night. Just she wasn't even drunk, I don't think. She's just a garbage fucking person. It was awful to have to watch. I kind of wish Ice hadn't actually stolen her shit, and it'd be a lot easier to be 100% on his side, not on hers at all. But still, it was very entertaining. I don't know what the next step is. I hope there's more to the story. She at one point she was like playing with the idea of going to the hospital, and they're like, "If you want to go, go." The cops, they're like, "Go." She's like, "Where's the hospital?" She's like, "Where am I?" She's like, "You're on Olympic Boulevard." Well, where's the hospital? On Olympia Boulevard. It's right around the corner. Well, can I go to Cedar Sinai? We don't care. We don't go wherever you want. She's like, well, "What do I do?" "You go. Like, we can call you an ambulance." She's like, "Then what happens?" "They come, and the fire department comes." "Do you think I should?" "That's not for us to say, ma'am. But I'll tell you this. If one of those guys up there showed me that arm and asked me if they needed to go to the hospital, I'd say no. I'd say no."
They said that?
Yes.
They were right. Those cops are not complete imbeciles failing to function on Earth.
Those cops are great. Rodriguez, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but Rodriguez, he's trying to work with her, and she's streaming him, and she's like, "I don't understand anything. I'm really stupid."
Yeah.
and he goes, he literally rolls his eyes, and the whole chat sees it, and they fucking love it. They're like, "Yeah, you dumb bitch. He's rolling his eyes at you. You're so stupid."
He's rolling his eyes at you. Yeah, these cops, I obviously didn't see as much as Kyle did, but they were not having it. One of the guys at one point said, not Ice, one of his friends, was like, "We think she's here for attention, and he's pretty famous, so anybody who gets with him is going to get a lot of viewers." And the cop did not give the response I think that guy thought, where he'd be like, "Oh, he's pretty famous, is he?" The cop was clearly the face of "Do you think I give a fuck about whatever it is you're doing? You're live streaming on YouTube. You know I'm a police officer, right? I don't go home and sit on Twitch or wherever you got. No, he doesn't even know what Twitch is. It was funny
I
to see that.
could be wrong, but to me, the cop is wrong, right?
I'm just talking his reaction was funny.
Well, yeah, I hear you. I don't know where I'm coming at from this, but I just feel look, this is a guy. He can fucking go to a gym and lift unimpressive amounts of weight, and 30,000 people will watch. Right? I didn't mean to insult the amount that he lifts, but whatever. He can lift within the realms of what normal people do, and everyone. I was riveted. I wanted to see. I wanted to watch the next lift. Can he put 3 plates on each side? I don't know. And it's an impressive thing. He puts on a show. Everyone's riveted. We're talking about him the next day. If the cop doesn't get that, that means the cop doesn't understand a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll if something else happens, maybe we could talk about it on PKA. But I think that's all of it right now. Just
what was the thing about an RV? Am I missing something?
Yeah, there's a medium speed chase in LA right now where this guy is in an RV. He may or may not have his kids in there with him. He's armed. He's driving 70 miles per hour. It's a big RV, like a Walter White special. Okay. And he's been running from the cops for quite a while now, and it's on all the news channels. I don't think anything's happened yet.
I don't know shit about RVs, but I would guess they have a lot of gas, and then he could go for 10 hours if he wanted to, and they'd be hard to pit maneuver. These are things I'm assuming.
Vehicle. Yeah. He's in an enormous Winnebago. It says "straight streaming" on the side.
Mexican Andy is in tow, and we believe there's an iPad in the vehicle.
Yeah, Mexican Andy is in a Ford
Pinto. We're
Pinto,
gonna go live
though.
with Corinne. She's got some...
Kyle, tell me, is it time for a topic change?
Yeah, I think that's all of it.
Can you get a good deal on the truck at the beginning of the month?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I felt like I missed my chance by not buying it yesterday or something.
No, I mean, like when I talk about like doing it at the end of the month and like if you're just trying to maximize every dollar you could possibly save, and it's not even a given that like what if you get to the end of the month and they're like and they've got plenty of sales. Let's say that they get their bonus at 300 cars for the month and they got 312 sold. They could look at your sale with even less regard, right? Like, we're golden here. We all got our bonuses. I'm going to Maui next week. Like, no, we're not.
I want you to go to May.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the best possible scenario, the way that just thinking back to the times when we lost the most money to sell someone a car, those were the scenarios. It was the end of the month. We needed one more sale or three more sales, and it was a Sunday night or whatever, and up against the wall type situation. But no, it's not like you've necessarily lost some big amount of money. And when I talk about saving, like those extra dollars, it might be $800. Like that you get.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah,
a lot of it is like when negotiating the price of a car. It's almost pride. I just don't want to think that I was an asshole for the next 10, 15 years, however long I keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am. People who watch the show for ages know I've been talking about my new truck since 2013. But I'm less full of shit now. I'm growing disillusioned with the Tacoma. In my eyes.
After all these years, yeah.
In my eyes, like maybe when other people see the Tacoma, they see an old pile of bolts, with rust and dents and whatever. But I looked at it and said, that is the truck of a man who marches to the beat of a different drummer. There are no other trucks just like mine, right? It had its own person.
A clacking old rusty drum.
You're not wrong.
Very tinny.
And it had been reliable, and it was kind of no frills. I got it no frills, thinking that'd be more reliable. Like that my coworkers and stuff, one had a problem with his electric door locks. So I thought, well, I won't make the mistake of having that for the next 15 years. I'm going to have reliable old manual locks. People laugh at me when I roll down the passenger window because you have to lean across and do the thing. And they're old, so they take some muscle to spin those fucking window handle thingies.
Well, it's an odd juxtaposition to see your estate and then that Tacoma there. It's like...
I hear you.
It's almost odd. It's like, do you have a whole fleet of these or something? Like, no, just one. All right.
Now, when I look at that Tacoma, I see a little something different. Like it's not comfortable to ride in, and it's really loud in there. Like I don't know how loud you or the viewers imagining, but it's probably louder than that. You can't really hold a conversation with the passenger in there. You have to yell to each other, and like when I first start the car, the radio is on so loud because I have it overcoming the road noise that when you start it in the driveway, you're like, whoa, is this even safe? Like this is what I listen to like the whole trip. And, or on the other hand, like I can't tell if the music is on if it's at driveway level. So it's uncomfortable and it's loud, and I have a couple trips coming up. By the way, I have to ask Chiz if he can help me with recording. And I'm just like, maybe I should just pull the trigger. There's no flipping reason why I have this old truck. I wanted to wait and pay the taxes and count the money and everything. I'm fine. I can have a new truck if I want it, and I haven't for some reason. And more recently, I was like, it is time to make this go.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, do it.
If you're gonna get, I think the easiest way to make sure you get a good deal is comparison, right? Go to 8 may be excessive. Go to 4 different Chevrolet dealerships and find similar car, and maybe you bounce back and forth to them a few times. Very quickly you'll narrow 4 down to 2, and then you'll sort of get them to compete against each other a little bit. And some of them might just be like, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna play this game. Like this is today's price, sir. And you've got to make that decision. Like, well, fuck you, or All right, that seems like a reasonable price. All right, that's $300 less than the last guy, and the last guy said that was today's price only, and I told him to go fuck himself. And well, to be honest, I'm all out of Chevrolet dealerships in the tri-state area, sir. So I'm on a list. There's a reason I came here as Mr. Mayberry. You'll find him. Are you the Woodworth?
We heard about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might do that. I don't know if I can do it over the phone. I think a lot of them might not want to play that game. I don't know where I think I'd hit the internet and see what people have in stock. But I'm kind of ready to just like own a new truck.
I recommend going in. There's something like you want to get in the truck. You want to smell the truck.
Yeah, that's
true. You want to test drive these trucks. And when you're on the test drive, don't be a bitch about it. Fucking gas that thing up and when you're on the road, like
I got you covered.
do this. Yeah,
drive the way you're gonna drive. Yeah,
drive the way you're gonna drive, and definitely, they're not gonna be the same truck, and that's gonna be like a sales technique that they use. Well, sir, this truck has blah blah blah. All right, well, what's the markup on blah blah blah? Like just because this one has a sunroof and that one doesn't, like, all right, the sunroof's an $800 package. There's, let's just say 10% profit built into that. We're talking about $80. Like don't try to tell me that this truck is $2,500 more expensive because it's got an $800 sunroof in it. That's bullshit. That even if they're not the identical truck, they can still be compared very easily when you account for the minor differences that they may or may not have. But just kind of know what you want going in there. If color is a big deal to you, or if like a specific stereo is, or whatever you're into.
Yeah, that actually is one of the bigger deals. Well, look, I need to see how much they cost too. Like in my head, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want a Ford F-150 King Ranch package. Needs to have the bigger screen on the radio. For whatever reason, that matters to me more than maybe it would other people. And
like the navigation.
Yeah,
screen.
like the navigation, the screen and stuff. That to me matters. And ventilated seats.
Oh, you're gonna get the F-250?
150, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought about the 250. Really, I don't need it, and I think it's harder to maintain and own and more expensive over time. So, I think I get a 150 King Ranch. That's what I'm looking at. I'll go hop in one and see what's what. There's a chance I hop in a full-size truck, and I'm like, this is so hard to park that I look at Tacomas again or something. I don't know.
I got rear cameras. You're gonna love that.
Oh, yeah. I was driving.
Yeah, just give it like a week and you'll be totally used to parking that versus the Tacoma. Like,
you might be right.
I would think.
I was driving next to some other car, and I could tell that when I was in that car's blind spot, there was a light on his side view mirror. It just turned yellow. He had a little like thing, and it indicated to the driver that I was in his blind spot. And I started playing with it. Like I left it, I came back, the light goes on and off. I'm like, that is wonderful. I like that a lot. So
a lot of those features are neat. My grandma always gets like a new Yukon every year, like just leases it and then switches into the new one.
Okay.
And she's such a neat grandma. You know how the GMC on the front of it is red?
Yeah.
She gets that blacked out because she thinks it looks better to be in the black GNC instead of GMC. And with that, it not only has the lights on the rear view mirrors, it has vibrating seats. So, like, if someone gets too close on your left side, it'll give your left ass cheek a little zzz, zzz.
Really?
And let you know. If you're, like, about to back into somebody, the back of your seat will zzz, zzz.
Yep.
But I was taking her car
it.
through I dislike it, too. And this was a funny example of why. I was driving her car through, well, I guess I was just the one driving. We were all in there. We were taking it through a car wash. And it freaks the fuck out with that vibrating seat when you go through a car wash because the car's like, oh, there are objects everywhere, and your whole ass is just nonstop for the entire car
And you
wash.
start to like it a little.
And then when you leave, you get that like post-numb sensation where you're like, I kind of wish it would keep going. Maybe I'll drive a little recklessly. Like,
Heather, she used to be agent to the show and stuff. You surely remember her. She got a new car when she was working at Woodycraft. It was a team building event. Anyway, I found myself driving her car, and it had a feature where if you change lanes without signaling first, it would fight you a little bit. I mean, you could force it, but it would be like, hey, you're drifting, and kind of keep you in your lane.
Feature.
I didn't drive it long enough to develop an opinion. I was mostly evaluating, like, should my daughter have this?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. The F-150, I usually rent an Explorer if I can, like the nice limited Explorer if I go somewhere. And last time I had one, it had that feature. It had all these features, the ones Taylor described as well. And like, you know, if you're texting and driving and maybe you start losing your lane, it's not that it notifies you a little, but it also kind of keeps you in your lane. I think it's called lane retention or something like that. And it's like, well, thanks. You just kept me in here. And no, I wasn't going to hit anything. I wasn't like all the way over the white line or anything, but I was getting to the edge. And it sort of starts fighting you and makes it. And I want to say that if you stop short, or not stop short, if you stop late,
You stop short with my wife.
if you stop late, if the car feels you're about to rear end somebody, it'll give you some more brake. You know, it'll help you not rear end someone. It did that to me once, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? I'm good here. You know, it was one of the situations where the car in front of me.
This is what I meant to do.
Like, we were both braking, me and the car in front of me, and like I was gaining on them, but like I could sense the trajectory was that I was coming to a complete stop in a very safe manner, but the car didn't think so. And it was like, it gave me a lot of brake, and it was like, you know.
Or sometimes you know that if there's space in front of the car in front of you, that he's likely to use that up, and that's the
that was the scenario. Like me and that car were both sort of braking, and the trajectory was that he was going to come to a full stop, and I'd be on a full stop 3 feet behind him or something. We're in traffic, and the car didn't realize that. I learned to like it by the end of the week, but at first I was really upset with it. I was like, you don't tell me.
Heather's car had, I think the feature's called adaptive cruise control. You guys, probably Kyle has it. I don't know how new Taylor's car is. But when you're on cruise control, when you catch, it just matches the car in front of you. And if that guy's bouncing between 65 and 75, then you will. Until he pulls over, then you'll go whatever speed you set it for. And it just seems really nice.
Yeah, that seems like a really good feature. I'd prefer that to any of the flashing windows or vibrating seats. Because that's the most annoying thing. No, I don't have like the controlled. I just have regular cruise control. But you know, like when you're on a road trip, like you get a little annoyed trying to set it perfectly. Well, you're like having it like 70 or something, but the guy in front of you is going 68, and you're like, God damn it! In 10 minutes, I'm gonna have to turn this off because I'm gonna catch up too much and get around him. All right, let's get it to the perfect speed. Like that would be a great feature.
Yeah, I like that one instantly. That one was pretty cool. So I want some of these driver assist things. I want the bigger screen, and I want ventilated seats. I don't know Missouri weather that well, but in North Carolina, ventilated seats sound really nice. Hop in there.
Yeah, that does sound nice.
Yeah, it's like an air hockey table if people haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. When are you set a date? When are you pulling the trigger on this?
I think May 9th.
Oh, my birthday.
Oh, really?
Is this secretly for me?
I think that I have a place to drive on May 11th or something. And I would like to, I'm doing a bigger trip. I think I'm going, starting North Carolina, of course, off to Louisiana, stop by Oklahoma, and then Kansas, and then back home.
Do you know what features you're going to get? So this thing comes in, obviously, the regular cab, the super cab, and the super crew, which is the full 4 doors.
So I need to see them in person. I thought there were 2 kinds of 4 doors, and if the middle one has a better turning radius or something, I might opt for that.
Its doors, I think it's got a suicide door or something. I don't think it has a door handle on the super cab. Yeah, it doesn't.
Then I might want true 4 doors.
Yeah. And
I know that you're a fan of that, right, Kyle?
Pardon?
You're a fan of having actual 4 doors.
Yeah, because if someone's going to be back there on a regular basis, like, or even if like I put my groceries back there and I fold in my truck, I fold the back seat up and it's just a wide open floorboard back there. And like, I just fill that thing up with groceries or whatever I've got in the truck. And it's really easy to get them out. I don't know. I like that. But
I feel like I often have something to throw back there. They might be wings for my paramotor or I'm going to say a gym bag, but usually there's like tools or something in it. But
5.5 bed, 6.5 bed, or 8-foot bed.
Now that one I'm really struggling on because maybe the shorter bed or 6.5. Not
I like
8.
the 5.5 bed, and then they have this cage that goes in the bed that can be flipped one of 2 ways. And when you flip it the other way, it sort of encapsulates the tailgate when the tailgate is put down. So the bed becomes the length of itself with the tailgate down.
I need to look at the convenience of that compared to because I often put the paramotor in it, right? That's something I might do twice a week. And if it's going to be in the way or something, then that's a problem. If it folds against the sides beautifully, then that's a consideration.
And oh wow, these things have 10-speed transmissions.
Yes, I think I want the V8. I've given a lot of thought. Did you want to say something?
No, go ahead, please.
The EcoBoost is their most expensive motor, which you'd think would be the best one, and it is the most powerful, which is, again, you'd think it'd be the best one. But for a guy that keeps their stuff, I don't know if I want a twin turbo intercool and all that plumbing involved. I might just want a V8, and it's a little easier to work on and understand to me.
So it appears to me that a 4x4 10-speed transmission V8 6.5-foot bed with the Super Crew package begins at $40,000. That's if you want the XL.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back because that does not have the V8. To get the V8, you got to step on up a couple notches.
The King Ranch won't come with less than a V8.
Exactly. The Lariat, which is quite nice, and I think has most of the features, $48,000. The King Ranch, $55,000. The Platinum, $58,000.
Go big. Go for that Platinum.
The truth is the King Ranch has a make-believe cowboy styling that really appeals to me.
Yeah. No. I'm with you 100%.
I like how honest you are about that. Make believe cow. See, you've spent so long in that Tacoma, like, treat yourself. Like, you should be able to rationalize whatever little extra gadget or gizmo on that truck you want. Like, max this fucker out.
My wife and I were talking about it, and she's like, look, are you keeping the Tacoma? And I'm like, I think I am. I think it's worth very little to anybody else. And I'll have something for dirty tasks or whatever. And she's like, well, we don't need two trucks. Maybe you'd like something else. Maybe you'd like a Mustang. Maybe you'd like some sort of crossover or SUV or like, not all of your tasks are putting something in the bed. Why do you need two trucks? And I pondered on that overnight, woke up in a bad mood, and I was like, do you remember when I got that Focus? Do you remember? I hated it every day. Every day I hated that Focus. I would walk from my office to my car, pass 300 cars in the parking lot. Every one of them I'd prefer over that fucking Focus. I was like, I like my cars to have a bed on them. Why do I have to get something without a bed? And she's like, you don't. No one's talking about a Focus. I'm like, I know, I'm exaggerating to make a point. Yeah. And she's like, oh, it like, because she just thought it was a waste of, she's like, how you say jewelry is stupid? I think $75,000 trucks are stupid. And I was like,
it's $58,000.
I hear where you're coming from.
Listen.
Well, I don't know. See, I went to look at trucks last year because I've been doing this for some time, and I saw a Harley Davidson special edition F1, and it was over 70. I was like, my goodness, this seems like a lot. And so we're looking and seeing 55 on this, but I have a feeling when I walk in there, they're going to be like, yeah, it's 55, but we decided to add a moon roof and a power tailgate or something else, and this one's 70. And we'll see what they are, what they look like, what they cost, how much I value those extras. And
yeah, the sunroof in that bad boy goes all the way back. It's really two sunroofs.
It's amazing. It's amazing. These things are luxury trucks. There's probably people listening to this who are from Europe or maybe just in a part of America where not everyone drives a truck. You have to picture like a modern BMW.
An SUV with a bed on it. It's going to be hard for you to fathom, but hang with me here.
I think that maybe it's me, that I'm the one who hasn't seen a new car in 15 years. And it's like, you don't understand. Like, the speedometers are digital. Do you get this?
It blows me away. And get this. I was at Pizza Hut the other day. They have crust with cheese in it. What year is it? 2018, sir. Both of these things have been around for over a decade. What year are you from?
That's totally it. I try to stay away from pizza because I tried to be fat, and I broke my leg, and they're the only people that brought the food to me. So I got this cheesy crust, and it was so good. I still think about it sometimes, and that was August of last year.
I still remember when that shit came out in like 99 or something, like, because it was like like during with those Super Bowl commercials where like a Budweiser
Okay.
and it was like
Oh,
Wazap and all that, and like that kind of like that frog sitting on the thing with the alligators and whatnot. Like then I saw a commercial for it and I had some, and at the age of like 10 or whatever I had it for the first time, I was like, how did they do it? Like, how is this cheese in there? Did they like, I don't see any like syringe holes or anything where they could have been injected. Like it blew my mind as a kid how they did. I still, if you told me to make a stuffed crust pizza, I'd fuck it up.
I think
there'd be like a seam.
I
like
just put like polio string cheeses around and roll it over, right?
That's all you'd actually do.
Okay.
But as a kid, I was like, oh, man.
I had never tasted it before. And the crust, now I know some people love the crust of your pizza, and I value your opinion. But to me, the crust was always something I had kind of suffered through.
Like the edges of a Pop-Tart. You just throw them away.
Bingo.
Oh, you guys are both on team no crust?
I usually at Papa John's they come with a garlic butter, and I dip the crust in that, and suddenly I like it. But if I just didn't have that garlic butter, I'd be like, maybe I eat the crust, but I consider it the worst part of the pizza. You put cheesy crust in there. Oh my God, this is a game changer. This is
just
amazing.
Pizza plus a breadstick, like a cheesy breadstick, basically.
Taylor, you're a genius.
I know. That's all that it is. But I love the crust. I think you guys are.
It's the worst part of the pizza. It's the part without toppings on it, so fuck the crust.
If it's thin crust pizza, the crust isn't very good because it's not even like a doughy texture. It's just kind of a shit cracker.
I throw the crust of everything away. I mentioned Pop-Tarts, but like sandwiches, really anything like that. That's the worst part of it. There's nothing in there. There's no pastry filling. Yeah. There's no ham and cheese.
I usually eat all these things, but mostly in the interest of like cleanliness and having less trash or something.
Yeah, the roaches will get to it.
Fair. I mean, they probably literally will. Like in the dump somewhere, someone's going to be like, thank God for Kyle.
No, in my bedroom.
Oh, yeah, because those sit around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For weeks.
Yeah.
You don't have roaches in your bed?
No, I
little eggs.
I'm just like...
It's okay, the rats get them.
Who could survive on, like, Pepsi and Pop-Tart crusts?
Rats and roaches, apparently.
Speaking
of people who survive on Pepsi, Mr. Mediker's Wings video should be out any day now. Day now. Recently in a Wings stream, someone asked him what he thought his IQ was. He said probably around 62.
I saw that in a highlight. 62 was the number? In my memory, it was 60-something.
62.
Okay.
Who said that? Wings said that?
Yeah. Wings, if you're watching this Wings, your IQ is over 62.
By a lot.
Yes. I peg you at least 85. Maybe more.
Retardation begins at 75. That's...
I think it might be 70 too. But
I mean, here's the scale. Over 140 is genius or near genius. 120 to 140 is superior and very superior. 110 to 119 superior. 90 to 109 average. 80 to 89 dull. 70 to 79 borderline deficiency, and under 70 is definite feeble-mindedness. Yeah. I don't know how scientific this is. This website looks pretty sketch. But
no, I did my own research, for lulz, and I came to a similar finding. I was looking more particularly at the varied types of retardation and how, like severely impaired was it like 20, 25. And there's like a standard deviation of like 15 points or something up and down within all of these numbers, these scores. And then like it seemed that retardation began around 75 and down to like 60 or something like that. And I just kept thinking back to that scene in Forrest Gump where like, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gump, but your boy has scored a 74. And in Alabama, he must score at least a 77 to be in public school. like he suggested that he's sub Forrest Gump levels. If
his
that
mom
were
fucked
true,
the principal to get him into school, right?
She did.
You didn't realize as a kid what a caring mother she was in that scene.
I did.
Because that guy was a creep. When I first saw that, I was like so young. I didn't.
What did you think they were doing up there?
I knew they were fucking, but like it didn't internalize to me like how much it meant.
Yo
for her
mama
to fuck
sure does care about your schooling, boy. He's like dabbing the sweat off his forehead.
That seems
God,
so
that's
wrong.
such a trashy
Yeah,
piece of shit. He couldn't even dab himself off before he left to be courteous.
It
was a hot smell.
Oh, give these fingers a smell, boy. You know?
Dude, there are certain old movie scenes. That's one of them, right? Where she like fucks the principal to get her son into school. The end of Revenge of the Nerds, where the guy dresses up as her boyfriend and fucks her, like confused, where she doesn't know she's fucking a different guy. There are lots of Porky scenes where they're like either spying on naked girls in showers or I want to say there's some like digital penetration or something like, yeah, Gooser, surprise. And like,
it was a rapier generation.
Yeah, thank you. Those are the words I'm hunting for. That feels really rapey now.
You mentioned like spying on girls, and I recently watched a movie that's about 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's called Observe and Report. It's got Seth Rogen in it, and his sort of group of cast and characters that you've seen before. Danny McBride is in there. I think Big John Okerson, maybe, like the big, like ugly fucking like comedian guy that's just a ghoul. He's in
the
it
guy
at
that
one.
wears like Pokemon trainer gloves.
I don't know about that. Maybe so. He's enormous, and he's got like a. He looks like the yellow peanut a little bit with like a Jew nose. Anyway, Seth Rogen plays a mall security guard, and I went into this movie thinking it was like any of his movies, Pineapple Express, anything like that, where it's silly and goofy. It's dark as fuck. It's basically Taxi Driver, the comedy. He is Travis Bickle, slowly becoming insane throughout the whole thing. He wants to become a cop, right? But as a mall security guard, you imagine that all these guys want to be cops, but for one reason or another, they haven't made it. Let's watch this 2-minute video and then we can wrap.
Okay.
So this is 2 thumbs up from you. Definitely check it out.
Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. If you really like Seth Rogen, I think you'll like it. Aziz Ansari is in it.
Did you link something?
I just now did.
There, I see it.
It's a little sad. There's a rape scene in there, pretty much. Like there's a part where he's fucking Anna Faris, and she's literally passed out with vomit coming out of her mouth onto the pillow.
Anna Faris the woman from Parks and Rec? I can't picture her. Oh no.
That's Anna Paquin, right? I couldn't even get that wrong. It's
Aubrey Plaza.
That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm
That's
thinking of the nurse
are you
that
talking
dated
about the blonde?
Andy.
Ann Perkins. What the hell is her name?
It's Anna Paquin, isn't it? Yes. No, it's not. God damn it.
I'm not going to be able to help you.
Anna Paquin is Sookie from fucking True Blood.
True Blood.
It doesn't matter what that bitch's name is.
Are we ready? I'm ready.
No, it does not matter.
Yes.
Ready, set, play.
Okay, Ronnie. Today I'll be giving you a psychiatric evaluation to determine if you're competent to enter into the police academy. So let's start with your background. Where are you from?
Born and raised right here, actually.
Oh, local boy, okay. And Ronnie, do you have any history of depression or psychosis or anything like that?
Yeah, but nothing really worth mentioning. Just a little bipolar disorder, not a big deal.
Oh, well, are you taking any prescription medications?
I am pleased to announce that I am currently off all prescription medication.
Congratulations. Why did the doctors take you off?
They didn't.
How are you feeling?
Great, actually. I met a girl. We're in love, so that is very good. This close to catching this pervert, catching a robber, just generally becoming the man. So at this point in my life, I just really feel like I could destroy some motherfuckers.
Okay, I'm just going to write that down.
Yeah, write it on down.
Yeah, write it on down.
Why do you want to become a police officer?
That's the big question now, isn't it? I have a dream most nights. It starts on a playground. There's kids swinging, laughing, dogs barking, butterflies just flapping their little wings.
Okay.
All right.
You hear a rumbling, and over the horizon comes a black cloud. And it's made of cancer and pus. It starts sweeping over the playground. Everyone starts screaming and clawing their eyes, pulling at their hair and saying, "Help! What do we do?" You know what happens happens next. Out steps me, wielding the biggest fucking shotgun you've ever seen in your life, and you know what I do? I blow every fucking thing away. I am getting God's work done. When it's all over and the dust is settled, the whole world gathers below me. I say, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for helping, being a great man, doing this for us. You know what I say? You don't need to thank me. I'm just a guy with a gun. I'm just a cop.
Okay. That should do it. Thank you for your time, Mr. Barnhart.
I think you mean Officer Barnhart.
It's got a lot of dark scenes like that. There's a part where his mother's a complete alcoholic, like she's drunk all the fucking time, and he's with her, and he's like, Mom, why did Dad leave? She's like, well, you were just born with so many special needs that I just think it was a little overwhelming for him, and he left. Do you think it was my? Do you think he left because of me? Oh, definitely.
I know it's time to wrap, but I saw Infinity War, the Marvel movie, and I won't spoil anything. If people are listening to this and you're worried about this, 0 spoilers. I enjoyed the movie, and then it prompted me to research more about the universe, because I'm a guy who like catches every movie but doesn't read the comics, so I don't know a lot. And I'm like, all right, what are we gonna do about this Thanos guy? You know, this big issue, the broad, you know. So then I start researching, like, can this guy beat him? Can that guy beat him? There's crossover. There's videos where people, it's a balance. I can't figure out whether I'm on Team Taylor, which is like, who could imagine more angels on the head of a pin? Who can imagine? I got 10 million up here on the head of a pin. I got 20 million. And it's just the dumbest thing ever, right? Or am I like, they do define rules in this universe, and these people become an expert on these rules and talk about like, you know, who could beat who. And you know, for example, as a layman, you and I might think Superman is very, very powerful, and he is pretty powerful, but he's vulnerable to magic. So like there's a guy in the Marvel world who does magic, Doctor Strange, and this guy is really, really good at magic. He's the best magician, whatever. But he's actually a normal guy, right? So, like, hypothetically, if he didn't use magic, Taylor could beat this guy up. He's just a regular person. But he has magic. So who wins? Magic Dude or Superman? They're, like, the best at the opposite things. And I don't know. So I won't spoil it anymore, but I keep going back and forth as I watch these YouTube videos. Like, you know, can Wolverine beat up Deadpool? Can Incredible Hulk beat Superman in an arm wrestling contest? Who's faster, Flash or Captain Marvel? I don't know. Where did Dr. Manhattan's powers start and end? And like, what? This is all so interesting and so stupid.
No, I'm fascinated by this stuff. There's a couple YouTube channels I watch for this stuff. I think it's Comics Explained.
I don't think
let's
I've
see.
seen that one.
Yeah, I think it's Comics Explained. They do like complete breakdowns, like 15-20 minute videos about specific comics, and like they go really in depth about all kinds of stuff. Here's one, Deadpool 2, just who is Cable? So if you're curious, if you're gonna watch Deadpool 2 and like you want to know who Cable is, Cable has a fascinating backstory that involves time travel. He has a myriad of powers. He's not just one of these guys who's like, oh yeah, he's really fast. He's got dozens of powers. He does all kinds of ridiculous shit. Cable is one of the most OP people that's ever been written, because you know it's comic books, right? So like,
yeah, they're all OP, right?
It's not like the people at Marvel are all in the same room. Like, all right, let's keep everything kind of on a similar playing field.
They're not Call of Duty balancing submachine guns and assault rifles. Like,
No.
all right, this guy's strong here, but that guy's strong there. So they're, 6 and 1/2 dozen. No, they all just go nuts, and you don't even realize how overpowered some of them are. Like, Flash. Flash moves quickly, right? That we all know his thing. He's a really good runner. No, he moves so fast and control every atom in his body at a subatomic level to the point where he runs through time and materials and I don't know. When you add enough speed, suddenly the guy has inertia in his punches, and you can't do anything. You can't hurt him because he's so quick. And anyway, they're also ridiculously OP. It is hard to figure out.
On the left
most.
side of that page, like I would read it, but it's literally a 5-minute read to go through his powers. They are absurd. It's everything from levitation, superhuman endurance, telekinesis. It's absurd. It goes on and on and on. Not to count the weapons and the time travel, and it's a whole thing.
Every time you learn about, like, you think you know how powerful a guy is, you don't understand when you take that thing and multiply it by 10, like just all the possibilities that exist in it. And
this is the old meme that I always think of when you guys are talking about superhero stuff. It's that old 4chan one, Radical Larry, where it's all of these like freak show participants from like the turn of the century, and they assign them like ridiculous strengths and powers. And then number 7 is like Radical Larry. It's just like a midget with microencephaly. So he's got a tiny little head, and they're like Radical Larry. This guy is all business all the time. Vibrates through walls, can burrow underground. It's like it's all.
The one girl has an enormous head. I don't know what that's about, but it's Tina the telepath. Moves objects just by thinking about it.
Number 6, William. He might have Down syndrome, but it says philosopher, poet, warrior, also gay. This is not a really badass team.
No, it's not at all. Like they're just in the second one. Dirk, that guy with like looks like a Odd Job.
Yeah, Iron Jaw.
Iron Jaw and fastest hands on the planet. He will fuck you up.
Dude,
this makes me laugh.
I know Taylor doesn't. As I was watching, I'm like, these are what the great movies are right now. You know, this is the Stallone wanted to be in Guardians of the Galaxy because he's like, it is the modern day Star Wars, the epic that people will talk about 40 years from now. I wanted to be in it. That was his thing. And I think he's right. You know, I'm not saying it's the thing for the next 40 years. I hope Westerns get a shot at it. But
have you ever seen Dredd? The new Judge Dredd movie made in 2012. I think I bring it up a lot, but yeah, okay, never mind then.
I liked it. I thought like you were gonna knock it.
I love it. It's one of my favorite action movies of all time. I think it's brilliant. I fucking love it. I think it's the perfect action movie.
I think it's better than Stallone's.
Oh, it's Stallone's is known as a complete fucking abomination throughout all reviews. Anyone who watches movies knows, complete abomination. Judge Dredd is based on a character from the 2080 comics that are written in Britain, and the cornerstone of this man's character is he never takes that fucking helmet off. But Stallone is such a diva that the first thing he does is take the goddamn helmet off. And they gave him Rob Schneider in that movie as comic relief. This is a man who has no comic relief. He's an anti-hero.
He just kills people in the streets, right?
He administers punishment for like the harshest sentences for the lightest crimes.
I feel like it's this. It's that on a scale of 1 to 10, that movie is like a 5 in my mind. It's not really. Hear me out though. It's not notable in being especially good or especially bad. Also, I think that about The Last Airbender. The problem is they took 10 plus source material, Lord of the Rings quality source material, and turned it into a 5, and everyone was totally disappointed. That's my take on it.
It's a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm telling you,
but
you
it's
go
the
rewatch
gap. It's
that.
The disappointment. Maybe you're right. I don't. I've seen it more than once.
Nobody knew the source material. They still don't. That's one of the downsides to the new movie. Is like a lot of people thought it was a sequel, or that it was the same guy or
they
something
were just
like
fixing
that.
their mistake.
Yeah, the new Dredd is fucking excellent. It's got Lena Headey,
Cersei.
Cersei Lannister. She's playing the bad girl, like a scarred up, like crime boss, and it's Carl Urban. There's talk of bringing it to Netflix and making it a TV show, and having Carl Urban be Judge Dredd. I'd love that.
Are you current on Terror?
Yes.
I'm not. How was this week's show? Last night's?
Man, it's depressing. It's bleak. It's bleak. I
hope
guess I
like
can't.
it. Did you like the one before it where there was a fire involved?
Yes, I thought that was okay. There's no, the monster is making less appearances, and the real danger seems to be the lead poisoning, the weather, and the infighting, which is all exacerbated by the lead poisoning. Because these guys are getting kooky. Because they've been eating lead for like 3 years now or something like that. They all have heavy metal poisoning.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I didn't put that together. They told you about the lead poisoning danger, but I still was like, that guy's clearly a terrible leader. That he went that route. And I'm trying not to spoil too much. And it's like, oh, right, lead poisoning. Maybe that does that. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to think that
even I'm too young to know about lead poisoning.
I like to think that there is no that's one of the aspects. Like originally when we first started talking about this show, that happened. The part where like a ship got stuck up in the North Pole, and they were eating lead sealed canned food and all getting lead poisoning from it, and it was really impacting their ability to form good plans and ideas, and they all perished.
They all perished.
Spoiler.
Damn it.
They let you know in the first episode of the terror that like the first 2 minutes that
first scene,
like nobody's gonna make it out of this. This is bleak. Every scene of this show, like the most current episode, it's trending downward. Things just get worse and worse, and they're like, oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, nope, that's much worse. much worse.
Tough break.
Yeah.
All right. Call it a wrap?
Yeah, good show, guys.
PKN 193.